everyone. I've had a lot of requests on showing how to make the dress forms. These are the finished dress forms. As you can see, quite three-dimensional. So today I'm going to take you through the first part of making the dress form. If you go online, you'll find a lot of corset patterns. All you need to do is find corsets that have the front and the back. The particular ones that I'm using is from Kellbells. That's Kellbells, I believe. And instead of making it flat, I take it like you would a if you were sewing it. I put the side panels in also. So first you need a front of your corset and a back of your corset, and the easiest way to get this together is to cut up the middle of the back of your corset. So now you have two parts. And for all you gals out there that's got duct tape galore, we're using duct tape. So put a piece of duct tape down, and I took, this is almost a half of an inch strip of just straight paper. You can go a little bit wider if you want a bigger corset. Lay it down the center, and then I just cut up to the paper all the way on both sides. Hopefully you're seeing this. And you do want to do both sides before you try putting this together. You can do just slits like this, or you can do where you're cutting out little triangles. I find this works just as well for this process. And you want to try to make as many little slashes as you can. It'll make going through the curves a lot easier. So now that we've got all these pieces sliced, we're going to take your front and we're going to put it right the very tip, along the very tip of this, of your side piece. And then we're just going to sort of roll it right alongside it. See if I can get you a closer look. So we're just rolling it right along. You see that? With using duct tape, it helps hold it. And then what I do is I take the center one and fold it over. Then I work from the center up, and don't worry if this is a little messy, we'll straighten it out later. But you do want to try to get that curved line in there. push it down on the other side. You want to cut it not right here, but down a little ways. That way, if your bottom piece is a little off, you can curve up to it. And now you got to make sure you get the right piece. This is the piece where I sliced it up the center. The center needs to be here. We're going to do the same thing, putting the tip to the very top of the white paper. And just roll with it on the tape right up against that strip of paper. And start putting your duct tape over to hold it in place. I'm hoping you can see this. Make sure your top part doesn't fan out. So I usually come back up here, hold that in, and fold it down. Get the bottom part and fold it in. Okay, can you see that you've got that curve? Got a curve on this side. Looks a little off, but what we're going to do is trim it. Even with the papers. Down here on the bottom, see how it's out? So we're going to give it a little trim and just match up. Can you see that? Nope. Where this come down, and you've got the back and the front. You want to just trim it so that it's a smooth line from back side to front. Then you'll want to do the same thing. Connect the other side the same way. And when you do that, you will have this. Here's your front, your sides, your back. We're going to get it ready now for making it into a working form, and we're going to tape up the back. The reason I took it apart while I was putting the sides on, it's so much easier to have it apart, work with one side and then the other side. Leave a little extra and up underneath. Now this is the part where this whole thing, this whole corset, is going to be covered with duct tape for support. So I start on the inside of the corset and wrap it down and around. And you're going to have several layers on this, so don't worry about trying to get them all even the first time round. You can use small pieces, larger pieces. You want to overlap them a little bit. Here at the top. But you want to make sure that every piece of the white paper, that's bugging me, is completely covered. Down at the bottom you do the same thing, up underneath. Try to keep your lines. If you have to, come up here. Cut it some, give it some clips so that you can hold them down and still keep that rounded part that you're looking for. When you're completely done with that, it will look like this. Completely covered multiple times. I mean, this is pretty thick. I think I got maybe 4 layers on all the pieces all the way around, and you want to make sure you keep that curve here. Your next step is to get you some polyfill tissue papers, wadded up papers, and we're going to stuff this. And you want to stuff it really well so that it fills out your area inside there. Let's get the bottom part done here real good. And here's what I do to keep that in. Take duct tape on the sides. Sorry, out of frame. All the way over. And now we're going to fill in the bottom part. It does not hurt to get extra on the main part of it. But we need to fill this in real tight so that our stuffing doesn't come out and catch on to the paper mache when we get to that point. Now I'm going to be doing this in multiple steps because it's not just a one-day step with this. When you're doing the paper mache, you have to let it sort of dry a little bit before cutting it off of your form and then rewrapping it on so that it holds its form while it continues to dry, which we'll get into further on. I'm hoping that you're seeing what I'm doing, and if I have any that's sticking up here like this, I just go ahead and wrap it up some, stick it down, because when you get done with your dress form, the paper mache part of it, you're going to be cutting it to the style more of what you want. So what I was doing is